Okay, welcome in. So, if you're watching this, you have either started a free trial for Bison Automation or you have just created an active account and you're trying to set up your account. This is it. So, first and foremost, want to thank you for trying out our software. I hope that this helps your shop automate and run things more smoothly so that you and your staff can focus on more important things. Alrighty, so without further ado, we're going to jump in here and we're going to go through all the setup processes and implement everything you need so you can start using this software to the fullest ability. So, first things first, we're going to come over here to settings at the bottom, and at the very top you're going to click business profile. Okay, and you're going to fill out your business information, address, all this kind of good stuff. Fill this out the best you can. This is going to help when we get to the phone number step with verification. All right, anytime you have a support request or you're talking to one of us with questions about your account or anything like that, we will either ask you for your location ID, which is right here, or we'll ask you for your friendly business name, which is right here, which is what your shop is going to be called. So if your shop's called Jim's Print Shop, you're going to call it Jim's Print Shop, okay? This is our test account, and it's just called Print Shop. All right, next up is your legal business name. This is if your shop is Print Shop LLC or, whatever your company is, Print Shop Holdings LLC, whatever it is that you file your taxes, fill that in here. Business email, business phone, your website, and your niche. This one isn't super important, but you don't have to fill this one out if you don't want to. Okay, business information, this stuff, registration ID. This is going to be your EIN number if you're in the United States. If you're in Canada, you might have a VAT or something equivalent to it. If you're in Mexico, I believe it is called, what is the Mexican one called? I think you would just put other if you're in Mexico, and then you fill out your ACN or whatever it's called. Anyway, that's going to help you with your phone number, so make sure you fill that out. Authorized representative, this is just going to be your admin, so whoever your admin is, come down to these settings, make sure this is checked, and make sure this is checked, make sure this is checked, make sure this is checked, and make sure all of these are checked so you stay within compliance of the SEC when you're sending text messages, okay? Make sure that all of this is checked. Allow duplicate contact, make sure this is unchecked. Find existing contact based on, I like to do phone number first, email second, but this is up to you. If you have a customer that has had the same email for 20 years, you might want to do that first. We do phone and then email, okay? Missed call, text back. You can turn this on or leave it off. If you turn it on, it's just going to have a message here that's going to text your customers if you miss a call from them when you set up your phone number inside of here. So if somebody calls, you don't answer it, you can say, hey, this is Jim's Print Shop. I saw we missed your call. How can we help? Or you could say, we'll call you back as soon as we can. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to message us here, okay? And then save this as well. Anytime you are filling out any of this information, make sure you're updating it and saving it as you go, okay? So that's it for the business profile settings. Next up, company billing. If you ever have to change your payment information, you want to cancel your subscription, pause your subscription, update your billing, anything like that is going to be inside of here. This is a test account, so it's not showing me, but your card information will be here. Your membership will be here. and then your billing information will be here as well, in terms of your address, email, all that kind of good stuff. Come on down to staff. These are your staff accounts. This is how you're going to add your staff. So you'll put in their name and their email. This is going to be their email that they're going to use to log in. If you're using company emails like with Google Suite, where you have, jim@printshop.com or sam@printshop.com, you can use those as well. Their phone number, and then this is going to be used for when they log in. It's going to send them an OTP login code for the when they log into their account. Advanced settings, you can set their password for them or leave it blank and it'll automatically generate them one. Either way, when they log in for the first time, they can reset their password as they need. Signature, you can create them an email signature inside of here, and then you can toggle this on so it enables it. So if you have an email signature like in your G Suite or your Outlook, you can just copy and paste that here, and then include it in before quoted text and replies. This is personal preference. We like to just leave this off. User permissions. This is going to be all of the permissions that you assign to them. If you're having somebody that's doing sales or that's doing production, artwork, in terms of like digitizing screens, all that kind of good stuff, you may want to consider clicking this, and this means that only assigned data can go to them. We'll dive a little bit deeper into that in a second. For us, we don't have anything important, so everybody pretty much has full access. You can turn off things like the websites, the settings, any kind of payments, and then contact information, and then any kind of forms or anything like that. A lot of these things you don't have to really worry about. You will never even need to touch them, but if you dive deep into here, we talk about this stuff in another video. But at the end of the day, all this stuff is pretty self-explanatory. If you have, your shop manager, your admins, your salespeople, all this stuff, just leave everything on for them. If you have somebody like an outside digitizer or an artwork person, you can basically just assign stuff to them, and that way, when they get assigned a contact, they're only seeing what's assigned to them, a task or a contact. That's all. So that's that. Any of your managers, anybody in-house, leave everything on, okay? And then all of these settings are also on the knowledge base as well, and it explains a little bit more in detail what each of them do. All right, user roles. So admin is going to be anybody like you really only want to have one admin. So the business owner is going to be your admin. Everybody else is going to be a user. Okay. The only difference is the admin can add and remove other staff. Users can't. So you can be a user and still have access to everything the admin has. The only thing is what you can't do is you can't mess with the company billing, and you can't add or remove staff. So that's the only difference, okay? Call and voicemail settings. Don't worry about this right now. This we're going to set up later on when we set up our phone. User availability. This is also for the calendar, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Leave that for now. And then calendar configuration, like I said, we'll talk about that later. Go ahead and click save and repeat that for as many employees as you have. Alrighty. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come on down to integrations, okay? And we're going to sign in with our Google. This is for your Google business listing. If you want to manage your listing with here, it sends you some insights. There's some configurations if you wanted to run ads. Google now has a messaging portal which allows you to get direct messages from potential clients right through Google, and that'll show up in your inbox inside of Bison Automation here. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and sign up with Google. Also, the review requests, there's an automation for once the order is completed, it waits a few days and then asks the customer if the order was good. If it was, it'll send them a request to leave a review on Google. If you plan on doing that, sign in here. It just prompts you to sign in with your admin Google account. That's all. If not, just leave that. Facebook, Instagram, if you want to use the direct messaging, if you want all your Facebook and Instagram messages to flow over into your inbox inside of Bison Automation here, we can connect that. You click this, it just prompts you to sign in. Same thing with QuickBooks. If you want your invoicing inside of Bison Automation to sync with QuickBooks, you can connect this as well. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to set up any automations or anything like that. It automatically does everything for you. When you bill someone an invoice inside of Bison Automation, it will automatically report and record inside of QuickBooks. It only reports from Bison Automation to QuickBooks. If you invoice in QuickBooks, it doesn't two-way sync into Bison Automation. That is something that might be available in the future, but it is not available currently. Stripe is what we're going to use for our payment gateways. If you have authorize.net, I'll show you how to set that up in a minute. Right now, the bulk of people have Stripe, so we're going to use that. You sign in. It used to be an API key. Now it just prompts you to log in with your Stripe. It might send you a code to your phone, but it's really simple now. You don't have to get any type of special keys or anything like that. Okay? Next up, Shopify. If you want to connect Shopify into here, we have a different video on how to set up the automations and stuff like that, where it's two-way ordering. If you're taking retail orders or selling DTF or anything like that, that's a possibility as well. TikTok, same thing if you want to use the TikTok inbox. And then LinkedIn, same thing if you want to use LinkedIn's inbox and filter it into your inbox here inside of Bison Automation. Slack, you can connect Slack in it. You get notifications on your Slack channel. You can communicate through your clients and stuff like that. So it's pretty useful. Keep everything all in the same inbox here. We like to keep Slack outside of this. It just keeps us more organized, but there's the option if you want it. And then Printful. We'll talk about this in another video as well. This is if you're doing print on demand with some of the website pages and that type of stuff. So this is all this is. Go through here, find out which ones that you guys use, and connect them. Alrighty. Next up, we're going to go to email services right up top here. Exit out of this. Now, this is the default messaging service that you have. I wouldn't advise you use this to conduct your business because it's probably going to show up in spam and your customer is not going to recognize you. What you want to do is come here and click Add Service. If you have Gmail, like Google Suite, anything like that, you're going to click Gmail, Yahoo Mail, SendGrid. If you have Outlook or anything like a direct mail, from your domain, your hosting provider, you're going to do other, and you're going to fill out this type of stuff. If you don't know where to find this, just contact your IT person or whoever handles your hosting. They're going to give you all this information. You punch it in here, click Save. With Gmail, it's super simple. Put in your email, and then this isn't your password that you sign in with your email. This is an app password. And if you click on this, it'll take you to a video and a form that'll show you how to do it. But it's really simple. You go into your Google settings, you go into your Google account, go into security, make sure two-step authentication is on. At the top, just search app passwords. It'll pop right up. Click it. Click one, make the name of it Bison Automation, click OK, copy the password, and then you just paste it right here, and then click Save, and you'll connect it. And then if this one is still highlighted in blue like this as the default and not the one you just set up, make sure you click that one so you make it the default, okay? And that way, anytime you send a new email or reply to an email, it's going to use that email you just set up and not this one, okay? Same thing here. If you want to forward something to an outside email or get copies of it, you can put that here. It's not super common, but it's there if you want to use it. Email analytics, this is going to tell you if your stuff is showing up in spam, if it's bouncing, if people are unsubscribing to your emails, all that kind of good stuff, all right? But that's the gist of it. You want to set this up. You're going to need this so you can send your customers notifications and so you can use the inbox, all right? Next up, we're going to jump down here to phone numbers, right under email where we just were. Come up top here, add number, add phone number. There's two different ways we can do it. I always suggest using an 800 number. It's easier to verify, and it gives you more, I guess, flexibility when it comes to what you can and can't message your customers, okay? So you're allowed to send marketing text messages. You're allowed to just communicate just like you're texting somebody regularly. You can send automated updates about your order, all that stuff with 800 numbers. If you do a local number, they kind of limit it a little bit. You can still do a lot of it, but there's certain phrasing and stuff that you can't use, and you can see what you can and can't use up here in the Trust Center. But like I said, I have two different numbers here. One is a local number, and one is an 800 number. Okay, how do we get a phone number? So you come on here, click add phone number, and then we're going to filter. We're going to select toll free. We want to make sure all these are selected. I'm going to hit apply, and then we're just going to find a number that we like. 888 are always good, so you click proceed to buy. It's going to cost you $2.15 a month for the number, and then the minutes in the text messaging it's about half of a cent per minute for calling, set outbound and inbound, and then for text messaging as well, it's going to be about half of a cent. So it's very cheap. It's a lot cheaper than Twilio or any other kind of messaging provider that you can get, Cricket or what's that other one, 800.com or something like that. But this is all done through here, so you're going to click it, you proceed to buy. At some point it's going to ask you verification required. You click on this, you fill this out to the best of your ability. It's going to ask you what you're going to be texting. Just use the templates that are already pre-filled out there, and then submit it. Usually it takes between 12 and 24 hours. They'll verify it, and you'll have a little green check mark here, and you'll be good to go. For the local number, if you choose to use that instead of an 800 number, you're going to do the same thing we just did. You find your number, you click buy, and then it's going to prompt you up here to do an A2P registration. This is more complicated than this. This is you're just telling them what's your company name, what you're going to use it for. This one you have to tell them what this is, if it's a campaign or if it's a brand, and then it's going to ask you like for your EIN, stuff about the owners, exactly what you're going to be sending, and then if you don't send that, you can get fined and all sorts of stuff like that. All SMS and MMS sent to U.S. phone numbers using a 10 DLC number, which means a local number, will fail if it's not registered. So you can go ahead and purchase this number and send them, but it's not going to go through, okay? And then same thing for the calling as well. If you're calling people and receiving calls, it's not really going to work, or it's going to show up as spam likely. You don't want to show up as spam likely to your customers, so just make sure you come here and fill this out, start the registration. It prompts you exactly what to do. You just go ahead and just keep filling this out as it tells you, okay? And then either way, whatever one you choose, once it's verified, it'll show up here that it's verified, and you could start using it. Give it a day, and you should be fine. If you, for whatever reason, cannot get it verified and you did everything correctly, just reach out to us and we'll help you. We haven't had anybody that I could think of fail, especially for the 800 number. It's as long as you have a legal business, you'll be fine. But for whatever reason, if you can't figure it out or if you are having trouble, just reach out to us and we'll help you. Okay? There's also some information about this on the knowledge base as well that kind of walks you through what different things mean, what to say, what not to say, all that kind of good stuff. All right? Next up, if you're messaging internationally, you have WhatsApp, you can subscribe to this. This is $29 a month. We're not trying to poach you or make extra money on this. This is kind of what WhatsApp charges us for the integration per account. That's just what it is. This is a separate subscription that gets billed just on top of your regular service, but it allows you to use WhatsApp inside of your inbox to message people back and forth. Same thing as the other SMS and with your email and your social media DMs, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so that is that. Next, we're going to jump back here and we're finally going to get into it. So let's go down here to dashboard and we're going to check out our dashboard. Now, out of the box, you have two dashboards, a sales dashboard and a production dashboard. A sales dashboard is when somebody fills out the forms that we'll show you in a minute, or they're messaging you inbound, anything like that. That's what this is going to be used for. You send them a quote, and it just helps you manage who is where and who you need to follow up with, things like that. Production dashboard is once the invoice has been sent to the customer, and they've paid it, they're going to automatically pop up here, okay? And it's going to notify you guys to get them over their mock-ups and get the art going on it. Once they've been approved, it's going to come into the order queue, and then once you order the garments or if you're sending the order to a decorator, once you send them the PO, then you can move this to production or pre-production, okay? And then after that, it's going to go to ship local pickup. It's going to automatically send the customer an email, and it's going to say your order's ready for pickup. You can come pick it up between X amount of time and X amount of time, whatever your business hours are. And then if you have it turned on, it will ask them to leave you a Google review if their order was to their expectations. Okay, so this is your dashboard. You can customize these, the names and stuff like that, add more, take some off. I recommend just leave it how it is. You don't want to overcomplicate things, but if you wanted to, it's right up here as well. Dashboard, and then these are what we call opportunities, okay? So you can see what's what and where it is. From any given time, you can click on this and it's going to bring up the order information. There's an option to upload like a work order on here. Inside of your notes, you're going to have your invoice. So this is going to be a copy of the physical invoice that the customer paid, and it's going to tell you all of the order information that you'll need to, print the order, put the order together, whatever it is. And then right here is your option to upload the work order. So if you have like a separate work order that you kind of give your production team, or if you're outsourcing it, your decorators, you can also upload that right here. And then people can click on it, access it at any time. And then it gives you the customer information, anything like that. You want to add some notes to the order. Hey, this one, the customer likes only one hit of white. This is what we did for future reference, yada, yada, yada. If you have to add a task, it's right here. So you can add tasks and assign them to specific users and then select the date which they are. So if you're scheduling production, you're going to schedule the production manager. The task is going to be called production. Oops, I can't spell today, sorry. You get the point. It's going to be called production, and then we're going to put it on the date for the 30th and then add task, and that's it, okay? Alternatively, you can always click on this button here and it'll bring you right to the conversation with the customer. This will add some tags. This is add an appointment if you want to schedule an appointment with the calendar. We'll show you that in a minute. And then add tasks right here. And then this is notes. So you can click on this card and access the same stuff, or you can just click on them. They should all show down here, okay? You can also, this is like what they call a Kanban view, so you can drag and drop this however you want. A lot of these have the automations though, so you don't want to mess with it, or else it could mess up the automation. Like needs mock-up art, if it's in here, don't manually put it over until the customer approves the artwork. Otherwise, you could mess yourself up. Order queue, production, pre-production, and this, you can all drag and drop. There's no automations for that, so that's fine. But this one, and then some of them on the sales, especially the invoice sent and the follow-up, those are going to be all automated, which we'll show you in just a minute here. All right, on inbox, we're going to jump back up here, right on top of dashboard. Now that you kind of understand how the dashboard works, you're going to see now how things are inside of the inbox. So usually it looks a bit more full than this. This is just our test account, so bear with me. But as you can see, they have the little icon here, and it shows you what type of message it is. So if they're sending you an Instagram message, it'll be Instagram logo. Facebook, it'll be Facebook. The @ symbol is a email, and then this is text message. WhatsApp would be WhatsApp. LinkedIn would be LinkedIn. TikTok would be TikTok. You get the idea. Good thing about this too is it keeps your customer information and the thread all in one place. So if you're texting your customer, you can text your customer, email them, WhatsApp them, all in the same thread, and it'll all show up here. So we have some text messages, we have an email. If there was Instagram as well, it would show up all in the same thread, which is great because it keeps everything all in the same place. This is what we mean by this is an all-in-one inbox. Everything is all in the same place, whatever you want it to be. It's really useful if you're big on social media and you're getting customers and leads come in. You get their information, you add their email and their phone number to their profile, and now you also have a record of what you were talking about on Instagram, so you can go back and reference that at any time. And now you have their email and stuff. When you're emailing them their invoice, their order, updates, getting artwork from them, whatever it is, it's all in the same thread here, okay? So that is that. Everything in here is pretty self-explanatory. You come over here, the unread section, this is going to be your inbox that is your unread messages, okay? You can also filter through assigned to me, unassigned, assigned to different people, inbound, outbound. If it was manual or an automated, you can filter through just emails, texts, Google My Business chat, Instagram, calls, Facebook. If somebody left you a voicemail, you can filter through whatever you want, okay? So if you have specific contacts that you're assigning to specific people, which we'll talk about in a minute, you would come on and say if sales rep 1 is in here, he wants to see his stuff. He'll select My Chat and apply. And then sales rep 2 is going to have a separate login, a separate account. He's going to come in and filter through on his chat, and then they're only going to be shown what's assigned to them. They're assigned contacts, okay? So that is that. We're going to jump down here to invoices. So we already set up our Stripe. If we're not using Stripe, we can come over here to integrations and we can use authorize.net. PayPal we can use, but it's a secondary, so you have to have either Stripe or Authorize in order to use PayPal. And then NMI, if you're out of the United States, you might be using NMI. You already should know what to do with that. It's the same thing. It's very self-explanatory. You connect, you log in, you set it up. And that's just going to allow your merchant to collect payment when you send the invoice through Bison Automation. Okay? Here is settings. So these are some of our invoice settings. Come through here, fill this out however you want. This is a footer. We always put our invoice or our order terms on here. So all orders are completed within 60 days of upfront payment. Whatever your order terms are, spoilage is 2%. We're not liable for mistakes made on blanks if you provide them. All that kind of good stuff you're going to put in here. I wouldn't select this. This is automatic sales receipts for payments. You're going to want to just leave it default because it's going to go off of your business information. For whatever reason, if you want to do different stuff, you can come in here and fill this out. Receipt start number, what it's going to show on their bank information, all that kind of good stuff. I would just leave it default. It's going to use whatever information we put in earlier in the video under your business information, that kind of stuff. Tax, If you're collecting sales tax, enable it. Your taxed, whatever your local tax is, okay? Tax rates, you just go ahead and add a tax rate, 8% local tax. That's what it is here in New York, at least. If you're in Florida, Tennessee, somewhere else, you don't got tax, don't worry about it. Wherever your tax is, you'll just input that, okay? Notifications. This is just your email templates. So if you wanted to send somebody like a automatic email once their invoice has been paid, you can kind of do this. So this is for the one-page kind of funnels and website pages, which we'll show you in a minute, but you can kind of customize these and send it to them after a certain amount of hours if they go through, put a product in their cart, and don't check out. Same thing with Shopify. Shipping and delivery, if you want to add like shipping zones, different stuff like that, you can do it here. Or if you're just doing a flat rate shipping, or if you're getting like a quote from UPS and just adding it on your invoice, that's fine too, okay? Coupon codes, you can create coupon codes here. You can also do it inside of Stripe, but this is going to be coupon code, all this stuff, whatever it's named. You could do a random one. You can have it only be used once, fixed percentage, or fixed amount, available for specific dates, limit the times it can be used. So if this can only be used one time, or maybe you're giving it to 5 people, it can only be used 5 times. Or if it's unlimited, it's unlimited, okay? Over here, let's go to products first. Products, we have another video that shows a little bit more on how to do the product setup, but I'll go through this just real briefly. You create a product, you can have your matrix kind of set up like this. So if this is screen printing one color, screen print one color, then you will have, a price, and you would have different price variables. So screen printing one color, let's say this one is $5 at price description. This would be at 12 pieces to 23. Okay. Add another price. This one will be $4.50 at 24 to 47. In here, pricing name 24 to 47. Okay, and so on and so forth. And that's for one color screen print. And then we'll do the same thing for 2 color screen print, 3 color, and so on. Same thing with if you're doing embroidery. Embroidery, 10,000 stitches or less at 12 pieces, 24, 48, so on and so forth. 15,000 pieces, 10 to 15,000 stitches, and so on and so forth. Or if you're doing if you're charging like 50 or 75 cents per 1,000 stitches, you would just put on here embroidery per 1,000 stitches at embroidery 1K stitches, and then your pricing things would be at the quantities. So 1,000 stitches at 24 pieces might be 75 cents, but 1,000 stitches at 48 pieces might be 50 cents, and so on and so forth. You get the idea. And then this is just some other settings and stuff. Don't worry about the SEO stuff. All right, so that's your pricing. Once you have all your pricing and your pricing tables inside of here, if you're adding products, you can add products too. We usually add products on the fly, and you can click on this vendors thing, and it'll take you to DGI. There's a video on that as well. If you haven't set up an account with DGI, go do it, because it gives you real-time data on the multiple different vendors and tells you who has what stock and what the prices are at this exact moment. So you can go on and see, okay, today Sanmar has a cheaper Gildan 5000. It's at $235. I'm going to quote them for this, okay? So we do that, and then our decorations are obviously in our pricing tables here. Invoices, all invoices. What you do to send an invoice, you come on here, click New Invoice. Okay, there's also some settings here. Email configuration. This is your email stuff. So from name, invoice terms, payment settings, invoice due after, we usually do 1 day. If you want to allow partial payments, You can allow 25, 50, 75%. You want to allow tips even. Hey, we'll take a tip, you know. Nobody tips their screen printers. Product settings, reminders. We can remind them every 3 days, and then add a reminder to, 5 days, and then every so on. And then notifications, all this kind of good stuff here. Just go through and fill that out as you need. Invoices, all invoices, new invoice. Make sure you select this one. We're not going to use a recurring template. Maybe if you're doing consulting or if you have a subscription, but we're just going to do a regular new invoice. We're going to assign this to a client, okay? And then we're going to add an item. Let's say we're doing 10 by 10 DTG print, okay? $5. And then we're going to do it on Gildan 5000. So we'll do a new item off the fly. Physical goods, Gildan 5000 black. And these are $235 today, or if we're marking it up, whatever the markup is, okay? And then in our description, we're going to do our sizes. So 5 small, 5 medium, 5 large, 15 XL, 5 2XL, okay? Very simple. And then they're ordering a dozen, so a dozen of each. And then shipping, let's get our shipping from UPS. All right, we're going on Unishippers. It is All right, UPS shipping. Today's price $22.35, and there it is. Okay, now we're all set. Now all we have to do is save this invoice, and then we're going to either send this invoice, and it's going to give us an option to email it, text it, or email and text it, okay? Or what we can do is you can copy this if you want to send this. Maybe you're communicating with your customer through Instagram or Facebook or what have you, or for whatever reason you're not using the inbox inside of Bison Automation. You can copy this and mark it as sent, and then go and send it to them outside of there. The reason why we want to mark it as sent is so it kicks off the automation to remind them and send the invoice reminders after, so on and so forth, and then eventually remind you to follow up with the customer as well. Okay, so that's that. It's all automated for you. Once it's paid, it's going to let you know, and this is going to show up as paid. If it's overdue, it's going to look like this, and you can access this at any time. All right, and now we just talked about our invoicing. Everything is good here. We know how to add our products. We know how to send our invoice. And now we can jump on down here to contacts. Contacts is very simple. It allows us to filter through different things. You can add tags for specific industries, if somebody's a VIP customer, if somebody's paid, if somebody is a stiff, all that kind of good stuff. All that stuff. You can add contacts on the fly here. You could filter through them. You can select contacts, so you could filter through stuff, select contacts, and then send a bulk SMS or an email if you're doing marketing. If you want to send newsletters, all that stuff, you can do that right through here, and you can schedule it ahead of time as well, which is really cool. All right, you can add tags, remove tags, delete them, make them, send them review requests, make them a starred contact. And then what I want to show you here is you can export all these contacts if you ever wanted to, export them, okay? And then you can also import them. You just use a CSV, and then just like importing to anything else, if you need help, there's also a little thing up here that'll walk you through it. But you upload it, upload your CSV, and then just map it out. Name, email, phone, etc. That's that. Calendar. This is going to be if you have your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar set up, if you want to do appointments and all that kind of stuff. You don't need this, but if you want it, it's here. All you do is you create a calendar. You can make appointments and send a link, just like Calendly. If you're using Calendly, this can replace that for you. And then it just books in meetings. It notifies you when you have them. You can dictate the times and all that kind of good stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just create a calendar. It syncs with either your Outlook, or your Google Calendar, and that's that, okay? Lastly, we're going to come over here to automations. So all these numbers are just automated sequences when certain triggers are initiated. Just leave all these on. Don't fuss with them. The only one you may want to turn on or off is the review request. So if you want it to ask your customer to send you a review request when the order's been completed, you click this on and turn publish, and then click save. If you don't, then just leave it. It's off by default. That's all you have to worry about in here. We can go deeper into the automations and what we can and can't do in another video. We also have some additional support if you want to create a custom workflow and stuff like that. But right now we're just working on getting your account set up here, okay? So that's that. Forms. You'll come into forms and you'll come into the builder section, and there's different forms here. So your mockup approval form, this is the form that you need to send to your customer when they approve a mockup. Leave it as this, first name, last name, email. You can do phone number if you want. Okay? And then save it. And this was just going to be their authorization for mockups, and I'll show you just how to use it in just a minute. And then our apparel quote request and promo quote request, or just a general quote request. Any of these three you can use. It'll automatically filter in. You can rename it if you want. You can customize it however you want. It has very basic information for this general quote request. The apparel one has more in-depth questions that it's asking you, and then same thing for the promotional. You can add custom fields here, so you come here, custom field, add, and select which one you want, drop down multiple, whatever it is, and then you just add. Always add this too in the forms section. Contact, form section if you're adding a form field, and then whatever this is. Option 1, option 2, and option 3, save it, and then it'll show up right here under forms. It'll be at the very end, and you just drag and drop it. If you don't want one of these, you can delete it, you can customize it, all that kind of good stuff. So that's over here on this section, this little plus button, all of the form fields. Over here on the right hand section, this is styling. So if you want to change the color, change the layout, you know, anything like that, you want it to do this, single line, whatever you want to do here, you can do it on this side. Colors and background, miscellaneous, all that kind of good stuff. And then always click save. And then if you're putting this on your website, you'll just go ahead and copy the embed code, and you'll have your web designer paste it as a HTML right in your website, okay? If you're just using the form link, you'll just copy this form link here, and then you can send it to somebody, and it'll just show up as just a one-page URL. So now we're going to go to this mockup approval, integrate. Let's click copy form link, okay? And then we're going to come here into email marketing. And we're going to come here where it says templates and snippets, okay? And there's mockup and mockup SMS. All we're going to do is paste what we just copied in each of these. So we're going to delete this, and we're going to paste the one we just copied, which is our unique mockup link. And we're going to do that both for the email and the SMS. All right, there you are. And how does this work? So when your customer pays for their order, and it's going to notify you, you're going to get a notification up here. You're also going to see it over in the dashboard setting, and your art department is going to see that as well, and they're going to click on the invoice and be able to access the artwork and create the mockups for the client. Then what they're going to do is come over here into messaging. They're going to click insert template, whether you're emailing them or maybe you're texting them. Either one, right here, insert template, mockup, use template, and then that's all you need to do. And then you're going to come down here underneath it, and you're going to attach your mockup files. So wherever your mockup files are, you're going to open them and send them to this customer. It's going to say, hey, customer, here are your mock-ups. If everything looks good, please sign off on this for approval. If you want to make any changes, just reply here. And that way, if they want to make changes, they reply right to you. You guys can see it, make the changes, and then resend it to them again. And once it's good, the client sees this. They see their mock-ups. Okay, I like that. They click the link, and then they type in their information. Okay? And then they just sign off on it like that. Very good. Okay, and that's it. That is from start to finish. I think we're at about maybe 40 minutes or so. So about a 40-minute setup, and then we're in business. Everything here is good to go. We have our form on our website. We have our email and our phone numbers set up. We have all of our dashboards, how we would like it. We've created our team, and that's it. So that's everything. Now you're fully able to use your software to the fullest. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Watch this video again if you missed anything. We also have a lot more videos diving deeper into specific sections of this, but this is just a general walkthrough to get you set up so you can start using this software for your shop right away. Thanks again.